iPhone 15 Pro has one of the best cameras out there. But is there a way you can get even better image out of a phone? Today I'm going to prove you that the answer is yes. Here, and in this video I'm gonna throw some cinematic challenges at the new iPhone 15 Pro and talk about the accessories that can help you elevate your camera game. All of this footage was filmed on iPhone 15 Pro main camera with the help of these new lenses that I've been testing for the past few months. And I'm talking about this new Freewell Sherpa 2.0 system, which is designed to give your iPhone videos a cinematic look and feel. It is compatible with all these iPhones and even Samsung Galaxy phones. Now, to use this system you're gonna need this case, which has a lens mount right above the iPhone cameras, but you can also mount some of the filters magnetically. Now the material of the case is a little bit slippery and I personally dropped it a few times already, so it is fine and the phone is okay after all, but I prefer silicone cases more because they provide better grip. Although the camera bump does help to avoid dropping the phone as you can lean it against your finger. The camera bump also works as magnetic mount for various filters that allow you to control the exposure of your image. It's MagSafe compatible, though I have zero use for that personally, but if it is important for you, it is there. Now the most important part is the lens mount. It allows you to use any of the lenses from the kit, so let's start with my favorite, Anamorphic lenses. So here is a video without any lenses on, film just on iPhone 15 Pro Max. And this is the same shot but with the anamorphic lens attached. As you can see, these lenses squeeze the image horizontally, creating wider aspect ratio and a more cinematic look. Okay, let me show you how I use them and how they affect your footage. Now let's go outdoors. Okay, so I have my iPhone set up here and let me show you the settings I'm using. I will be using 30 FPS and you see my shutter speed is in auto and it's crazy. It's 1/4000. We will not have any motion blur. So in that case, it's advised to use ND filters. What's cool about this system is that it comes with ND filters, so I can install the lens, but also control my exposure. So that's very cool. And let me just record the sample frame without any lenses, without any filters, just as is. I want to make sure I'm in focus. Okay, we'll just roll a couple of seconds. Okay, I think this is enough. And now let's install the anamorphic lens 1.33 squeeze. You have to install it on the main camera like so. Okay, it's attached, and now what you want to do is go inside the settings on the Blackmagic app and you need to adjust your anamorphic de-squeeze 1.33, just like so, and you see we get de-squeezed image, wider aspect ratio. Now the next step that we want to do is to control our shutter speed, our exposure. We have some sort of overcast weather, so the sun is out, then it's gone again, so you need to constantly adapt and adjust your exposure. Just a quick note for the beginners, these lenses come with ND filters. This is a filter that reduces the amount of light that enters the camera. This is very useful for creating motion blur effect, which can make your videos more dynamic and realistic. So instead of everything being super clear and sharp, the moving objects will get this effect. And just overall, a touch of blur makes the action feel more dynamic and engaging. Let's try the ND32 and the ND filter. Did you just get distracted by a dog? It's in place, and let's check our exposure. Oh, you see it's 1/48. It's pretty good, but we can bump the ISO just a little bit. If I want to make sure my exposure is correct, I will just press the skies over here. This is the brightest area of my frame, and I think 1/125 is all right. I'm okay with this exposure. Let's record a couple of frames. And by the way, this is a blue flare anamorphic lens, and there is exactly the same stretch factor, but for the gold flares. So we'll test that as well. As you can see, 1.33 times anamorphic lens gives your video a unique and professional look. I personally think it's great for filming landscape, cityscape, architecture, and even talking head videos, as you will see further in the video. The color difference in these shots is caused by the ever-changing overcast weather and a bit different white balance settings. So this is the 1.33 times, but there is another lens in this kit that squeezes the image even more. Let's try it now. And now let's try the 1.55 squeeze. I removed the 1.33. You have to also make sure you installed it properly, it's not twisted or tilted, because in that case you will have this weird distortion in the frame. And then I will just remove this ND filter from the previous lens and attach to this one to control my exposure. Maybe all the settings, all the interface of the app looks a little bit complicated, but trust me, it's not. If you spend like 10, 15, 20 minutes with this app, trying to figure out all the settings. I promise you, you will get an idea. Just don't get it scare you in the beginning. I need to go into the settings, go to camera, and then change the anamorphic de-squeeze to 1.55. It's very cool that the app has it already built in, and you see the footage is de-squeezed again. So we hit the record button and everything looks really nice. Alright, and just so you get an idea how the anamorphic lenses affect the image of the iPhone, here is the footage without any lens on, then with the 1.33, and now this is the 1.55. So you let me know which look you prefer. I think if you go for the artistic shot, if you want to get this anamorphic cinematic feel into your footage, then you definitely need to use the anamorphic lenses like this ones. Personally, I cannot put my hand on and choose the specific one. I really do love the 1.33 because on the phone, I think it looks kind of more natural, but also 1.55 gives us wider aspect ratio and has more character. But you let me know in the comments which look you prefer, 1.33, 1.55, or maybe you like to film without any lenses on. You let me know down in the comments. Just so you know, both of the lenses introduce a flare to your footage when filming against bright source of light. For each squeeze, there are two variants of these lenses for iPhone, blue and gold. But I noticed personally that they are not identical. For example, in certain scenarios, I much rather prefer the way the gold flare looks over the blue one. It just looks more optical. However, the blue flare lens gives a bit cleaner image when you film in objects that reflect light. Like in this case, you see sun is reflected by the clouds and I have the gold light overcast bleeding in the frame. But maybe it's just the character of each lens. And you won't use anamorphic lenses for the character they give to your image anyways. Either way, let me know in the comments which one do you prefer, gold or blue? Which one would you use more? See what others say too. Now I'll get back to the anamorphic lenses very soon, but first there's another lens in this kit that I want to show, and it is wide-angle lens. And this is the lens that expands the field of view of your iPhone, allowing you to capture more of the scene. This is very useful for filming landscape, interiors, or group shots. Now what's important is that the iPhone has 3 cameras and you have to install the wide-angle lens on the main camera, which has way better low-light performance compared to the ultra-wide-angle camera. This makes it ideal for shooting in low-light situations such as at night or indoors. Now do not get me wrong, the low light is already great on iPhone as is, and you can get awesome shots even with ultra-wide-angle lens. However, the main camera is still better and sharper for low-light scenarios. And when I film during the day, I'm still able to attach and defilter over the lens and control the exposure the same way as with the anamorphic I showed moments ago. Oh, and fun fact, this is an anamorphic full-frame lens that gives you very beautiful images, but there is one drawback when using this lens compared to these two when they pair with the iPhone. Let me explain. Another cool part of this setup is even though this is an anamorphic lens, but it still has autofocus. Yes, of course, phone sensors are not as big as this one, full frame camera, but still this sensor is good enough to get some blurred background if you're relatively close to the lens, like I'm standing right now. And you see, if I step out the frame, the focus just shifts to the background like this, and this is the magic of autofocus. So technically I can set up this phone on a tripod and have this anamorphic solo filmmaking kit basically, which is really cool. And if you want to do the same but on a full frame camera, you need to use full frame lenses which are manual focus only. So in a way this is a more versatile kit. Though this lens right now covers a little bit of the microphone cutout, so you let me know how's the audio sound quality, because I'm not using any external microphones. This is the direct audio that you have with this setup. Now let me tell you some things you need to know before filming with these lenses. First, to get the best results, you need to use proper settings, and I will be posting a detailed tutorial very soon, so make sure you're subscribed. Yeah, some videos have over 80% views from the people who aren't subscribed, so you know what to do. And second, to get the best footage possible on the iPhone, you need to film in log. When filming in log, your footage looks like this, which allows you to color grade it to a better extent while capturing more info in the shadows and highlights area. And it also helps you to avoid digital looking footage. This is one of the things that separates regular phone footage from bigger cameras. It's just one step closer to look more pleasing to the eye. So what I do is I use the same Apple log mode, but instead of recording in ProRes, I can do it in H.265 codec, which is much smaller and more efficient one, and it's without losing much quality really. It's not a paid advertisement or anything, I just think this app is very useful if you want to take better looking videos on your iPhone. And if I run out of memory or want to edit the footage external on my laptop, all I have to do is simply take this external SSD disk connected via Type-C port, and then simply use the built-in file app on iPhone and then just paste them to another folder on this SSD disk. It's a pretty fast and way better than using AirDrop, trust me. I will link my SSD of choice in the description. Now before I reveal another major setting you need to utilize, I want to show you one more lens that comes with this kit. It's pretty huge. This is the fisheye lens, which is a lens that creates a distorted and curved image given your 200-degree field of view. This is a fun and creative lens that can give you some interesting and unique perspectives. However, it's also very large and heavy lens, so I do not use it very often, to be honest. Just have a look how big it is. This is the Sherpa 2.0, and this is another brand fisheye lens which does not have a sharp look as this one, but it's much smaller, so it's just a compromise you have to go for. If you want the best quality, you choose this one. If you want something portable, you get this one. So if you're looking for something different and fun, you can always give it a try for sure. Now, out of all the 7 lenses Freewell made, if I had to choose, it would be these anamorphic lenses. I truly think they're currently the best optical anamorphics for mobile phones. My favorite ones are 1.33 blue and gold anamorphics, as I think the 1.55 is something too artistic to my taste. So they're awesome if you do not want to take camera with you on travels and want to use something compact. Oh, and I forgot about a very important setting when using the anamorphic lenses. It is that you have to disable the image stabilization on the iPhone. I did not disable completely though. Low-level stabilization inside the Blackmagic app worked for me too. This is why throughout this video I use this setup either on a gimbal or a tripod most of the time to keep the shaky movement to the minimum. You can film handheld, however, just not when walking, as this will cause this weird jello effect. But these shots you're seeing right now were made handheld. As you can see, using a gimbal or a tripod can make a huge difference in the quality and the smoothness of your videos. They can also help you create some cool camera movements such as pans, tilts, slides, and rotations. I will leave the links in the description below for some of the ones that I use and recommend. Now let me know in the comments what you think about iPhone 15 Pro and the Freewell Sherpa lenses. What tips you have for filming cinematic videos? I would love to hear from you and see what others suggested down in the comments as well. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos like this. I have a really cool one in the making, and meanwhile make sure to watch this video next, as I think it will be perfect for you, and I'll see you there. Bye.